But you got Terminator X on the cut. In the public, the enemy gets off in the cut. Run a pack of mad mixed with the Cuban guys. This music gonna make you through the bus, we're so for show. We're here to introduce you to the morning show. Christmas chillin', Terminator's chillin'. All of them are dropping people what you think. Layla is chillin', Soren is chillin'. Quick Billion, we got mad links. James reppin', Big Wig reppin', Akron, Cleveland, LA. Fly cry, LeBron James around. I'm a pro model, I see you bring the gap.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Chris Thomas Show. I am Chris Thomas, and today we have a fantastic show. Starting off, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, 100% Sucker Free Brands, and of course the Ebony Inn Barbecue. That's 5367 Sheriff Road in Fairmount Heights, Maryland. Now it's time for me to do what I love to do, is to introduce our top-notch all-star team. Today we have with us, as always, the ambassador of hip-hop, Soren Baker, the Prime Minister, Rap City in the Basement, DJ Mad Links, and DJ Terminator X from Public Enemy, and of course the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. What's up, fellas?
Glad to be here, Chris.
What's happening?
All right, so
what's good?
What we're going to talk about today, of course, we're going to talk about the OKC's win. Also, we're going to talk about something Terminator sent me the other day about a young lady goes viral after her husband surprised her with a starter home that he could only afford. Also, if you watch the TV show on USA, the Chrisleys, they have been released from prison. Julie and Todd, they got pardoned by Donald Trump. And Casey gives birth to her third child. So we're all good. We're all good. So right about now, let's get this show rolling. This is the Barack quote of the day.
Hello, everybody. This is B.O., the 44th, with the quote of the day. If at first you don't succeed, try doing what your coach told you to do the first time. And that was the quote of the day. Now back to the Chris Thomas Show with the top-notch all-star team on KSHP Radio, 107.1 FM and 1400 AM. Enjoy your day, everybody.
All right, B.O., thank you for the quote of the day. Also, we will be having Alonzo Williams. He's the godfather of West Coast hip-hop. And, of course, if you remember the world-class Wrecking Crew, he'll be on the show a little later coming up. But right about now, I want to talk to the fellas because I don't know if we should bring this up now, but OKC did it, Soren Baker.
Yeah, man. They shown a lot of promise, and I think they are one of the more unheralded teams, I'd say probably the last decade, to be able to get to these conference finals in this way. They're just a solid team, and I'm interested to see how they do because they got a lot going on.
Oh, well, to me, they're going all the way. What about you, Terminator?
Go on.
What about you? What about you, DJ Mad Links?
Man, I gotta say, I'm looking forward to a final, which is looking for all the world right now like it's going to be two smaller markets. OKC, of course, the last time that they were in the finals was against the Miami Heat, where they had their own version of the medium three in KD, Russell Westbrook, and the beard James Harden, the man who draws the most unnecessary fouls in the history of the game. But I'm really liking this OKC team. But listen, I'm telling you, Indiana, I'm really hoping that they do it just because I want to see Reggie Miller have a little bit of like that moment. Even though he's not playing, I want to see him have that moment. And then I gotta say this, man. OKC better watch out. Tyrese Halliburton, daddy, come on down from the rafters. He liable to start a riot. It might be the Malice in the Palace all over again. You see how we did with Giannis that last game? It could get ugly.
Yes, yeah, it could. And tonight, the New York Knicks, they played the Indiana Pacers. But right about now, it's time to put a little love in our life. This is Diamond D with love and happiness.
Hello, this is Diamond D with Love and Happiness, where I'm giving you some love advice, some happiness advice, some everyday good advice to make your day a little more loving. William Shakespeare said, "Love all, trust a few, and do wrong to no one." Trust is one of the key ingredients to a healthy relationship, but not everyone knows how to give or receive trust. Here are some pointers on how to make your relationship more trusting. 1. Be consistent. Say what you mean and do what you say. 2. Be respectful. Value each other's opinions, dreams, careers, and thoughts. 3. Be forgiving. Let go of past pain and be willing to try again. Lastly, be focused on your partner's good qualities, seeing them for who they are and not their past wrongs and faults. When you embrace these aspects of trust with your partner, you will begin to build a foundation that contributes to a healthy relationship. This is Diamond D with Love and Happiness, where I'm working to make your day a little more loving.
All right, Diamond D. And as I want to say to everyone, I know a lot of people looking for Leda Lopez or Janae Nefertiti. They had something to do, of course, if you've been listening to the show, you know that Layla has a talk show that's going to be coming on in the next several weeks. And she's in rehearsal doing her thing. So we're giving her that time off. And of course, Janae, she has an appointment doing television also. But I got my brothers from Good Mothers on the show. So before we bring Alonzo Williams on the show, we're just going to get right to the comedy right quick. So when we get him on the show, we can go straight through this interview. So I want to let everybody know that I will be in Las Vegas. That's June the 22nd for the Ronaldo Ray documentary. And as I said, people who will be on the film will be Cat Williams, Sinbad, Tommy Davis, and Tommy Child, Kim Whitley, Marla Gibbs. And it's going to be at the Lamari Theater, and that's 1510 South Main Street in Las Vegas. And I'll be there, and we're having a comedy show, a tribute. We're going to have one great time. So now let's check out the AHA Sin City Comedy Spotlight. This is Dick Gregory, the late Dick Gregory.
Oof. I remember the early days of the civil rights movement. Walked down the street scared, didn't know what was going to happen, and now look where we are. I never thought I'd see the day that this thing would get so mellow that white folk would start asking me to comment on white folk problems. I came back in from Europe last month, CNN. Mr. Gregory, you think we'll ever catch Bin Laden? I say, we. I ain't looking for it. I'm still trying to find out who my daddy is. Bob Hope, a lot of you young folks don't remember Bob Hope. Bob Hope lived to get 104. He died at 3 o'clock in the morning. AP called me, Mr. Gregory, Bob Hope just died. Can we get a comment on you? I thought he'd been dead. And what you say? I said, my comment is Bob Hope's family should go to Chicago and get on their knees and kiss Jesse Jackson's feet. Because for 40 years, Jesse been yelling, keep hope alive. And he always that lived to get 104. I saw Jesse the other day. Jesse said, Brother Greg, now that Bob Hope has died, let me pray for you. How you gonna run around talking about keep Dick alive?
Fellas, as you know that I have on the show, we got the ambassador of hip hop, Soren Baker, Prime Minister, Rap City in the Basement, DJ Mad Links, and DJ Terminator X from the group Public Enemy and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. And right about now, we got on the phone, we got the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, Alonzo Williams. Lonzo, what's up?
What's up, folks? How y'all doing this morning?
How you doing?
Good, Lonzo.
And I'm out here in the streets trying to figure out where this next class is gonna be at. I'm lost.
So, what the question I want to ask you, because I used to be on tour with NWA back in the day. Let me read a little bit. So, you did a lot of things, Alonzo. You're a leader in the legendary of R&B rap group, the World Class Wrecking Crew, and you helped launch the careers of Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, DJ Yella, and of course, the late great Eazy-E, formerly known as the group in NWA. So I was talking to Terminator X, because back in the day, I think NWA used to be on tour with Ice-T. It was Public Enemy and some other groups. Were you part of that, part of the group at that time?
You know, it was funny, man. One of the first tours I did with Ice-T, NWA, Just Ice. I can't say if Public Enemy was on the tour or not, but I was the only non-gangster on the tour. And it was crazy for me because I wasn't used to running after the tour. I was usually running behind some women or something. And for the first time, we had to lock the hotel down and security checks. It was just a different environment for me.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. They like
so tell me
everything, man.
So I want to know if any of the guys want to ask you a question. Soren or Terminator, Mad Lincoln, y'all want to ask?
Yeah.
I did want to jump in real quick and just say that we cannot forget one of the coldest MCs ever, MC Ren. Not just a cold MC from the West Coast, period. And I've always said he's probably one of the most underrated rappers of all time. So Zoe, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I just had to say.
Ren is James Worthy to NWA. You know, when you got Magic and Kareem on your team, you forget about James Worthy. That's the same thing for Ren. You know, he was a great writer. He was a great writer, great performer, but he was surrounded by so much greatness. He didn't get the same shine, and he don't really want it now. He just kind of stepped into the shadows right now.
Okay, Soren, you want to ask them something?
Yeah, hey Lonzo, how you doing, man? Good.
Hello, Soren, how you doing, Doc?
Everything is good. Everything is good. One thing that's always interested me, and we're speaking about all these icons in the game, and including yourself and what you saw. Why do you think that the artists were more entrepreneurial earlier on the West Coast than really any other region in the game?
We were forced to be. We didn't have any other options. Before NWA, when they hadn't even met me yet. I had a bootleg record label, Z-Rock, Cut Up, and I did other party mixes, right? And I went around to all the different distributors, all the different labels. Of course, I didn't know the record business that well, and nobody would pay us any attention. But what I did realize, and I finally did do some legitimate records, nobody thought that hip-hop was going to last this long. It's going to be like disco. Because you got to remember, disco had just died a few years before that, and they said, it's going to be just like disco, no big deal. But at the same time, we had something that nobody else had. We had McCullough Records, which was on Santa Monica Boulevard, and although McCullough was a known thief, he was like the best thing we had going, and it forced us to be in the record business when we had no idea what we were doing. And that's the difference between the West Coast and the East Coast. Most of us, all of us, Dream Team, LA Dream Team, Ejected Lover, myself. We all had to form our labels. Nobody would mess with us. Nobody believed enough in hip hop for us to give us a record deal. But once we all start selling records, here they come with big fat checks, and that's how you got folks going to Priority and Warner Brothers, and even Record Crew went to CBS for a while. But nobody in the record industry believed that hip hop was going to sustain itself, and they just forced us to be entrepreneurs.
So everybody who's listening, we're talking to Alonzo Williams. He's the godfather of West Coast hip hop, and of course, the world-class Wrecking Crew. And he's done so much. Were you part of the song "We're All in the Same Game" when all the West Coast rappers did it for Mike Concepcion?
No, I never gangbanged, so they didn't invite me.
What about you, Terminator? You want to ask a question?
Absolutely. Salute, my brother. Salute.
What's up? Always.
I got two questions actually. The first is, I'm a friend of Davey DMX, and I've heard the story about how when he came to LA, he taught Yellow how to scratch, and I think in something to do with Dre as well. Can you elaborate on it? And are you the one that brought Curtis Blow to LA for that to happen?
Yes, I am. I'm the one that bought Curtis Blow his first plane ticket to Los Angeles. He performed in my club Eve After Dark, the same one you saw in the 2022 Super Bowl that Dre stood on. That was our home. I flew Curtis out to do a Christmas party for us. We called Christmas Rapping, and Davey came out. But before they came out, Curtis's album, there was a song called AJ Scratch. We loved that song at Eve After Dark. And when he came out to LA, we like, hey man, you gonna do AJ Scratch on the show? He said, no, we're not doing it. Oh, you got to do that. And then Yella wanted to find out how you make that noise, how you make that sound. And we had belt drive turntables, a knob on our mixer, and he says, oh man, that ain't how you do it. So he came back the next day after the show and took Yella in the studio. We disconnected all my equipment, set up all Davy's equipment, and he gave Yella a blow-by-blow description, and then Yella taught Dre how to scratch.
Wow.
Awesome.
So what about?
Hey, wait a minute. I got one last question, please, if I may. So this is more of a funny story, and right. I don't know the answer. I'm going to the question I'm asking, but I remember in 1987 we were on the 87 Def Jam tour, which co-headliners LL Cool J and Houdini. Also on the show was Dougie Fresh, Eric B. and Rakim, Public Enemy, and there was a few other exchange groups. But when we were in LA, we went to a swap meet or wherever it was. I couldn't tell you where it was, but I've heard you talking about the bootleg and stuff. So we went. We found. There was a guy. There was a vendor there selling kind of like compilation tapes with different rappers on it from East Coast and West Coast. So whoever was kind of popping at the time, we thought it was kind of cool. And we bought Chuck D and myself bought some, but Eric B found out about it, and he took all their tapes.
Wow! Wow!
And after hearing about this story, I was like, I wonder if any of that came from your camp.
It may have, dude. I wasn't always a legitimate record producer. I learned the record business as an underground bootlegger, and that's why when I went to Macola, I knew the process. There wasn't any classes to go learn how to record, master, produce a record. There was no. But I learned because my last job, I worked for a record distributor, and they kind of gave us some insights on some things. I picked up records from pressing plants and stuff like that, and it just made a natural transition. But yeah, being an underground bootlegger. And then moved to CDs later on. I made cassette CDs, whatever it was, to make some money. I was down with it, and like I said, some of that could have been from us. But at some point in time, I stopped doing it because I got nervous. Because at the bottom of all records, you see a thing that says under federal law, federal copyright, or something like that. And I didn't want the Fed to kick my door in, take me to Guantanamo Bay behind the record. So,
it's not. It's not a big deal to me. I just thought it was a funny story.
But guess what, Alonzo, I know that you are a DJ, but I got two other baddest DJs just like you on the show. So right now we want to check out Terminator's X's R&B mix, and we'll be back with Alonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. Let's go.
Honey, I can see the stars all the way from here. Can't you see the glow in the rain? I can feel the sun whenever you're near. Every time you touch me, I just melt away. Every smiling from ear to ear. Not perfect, but it's worth it after I through my tears. You remember? You're the only one I need. Come on, baby, you're the one. You're the one that shines tall. When I need you, make everything stop. Finally, you put my love on top. Ooh, baby, you put my love on top. You put my love on top. You put my love on top. Outside when she keeps me home. The quiet conversation makes me warm. So warm, sweet friends, sleep and wait by rain. I swear, he got it all covered. Not when I'm alone. I feel the way she gets up. Baby, I just don't get it. Do you enjoy being hurt? I know you smell the perfume, the makeup on the shirt. You don't believe his stories. You know that there are lies. Bad as you are, stick around, and I just don't know why. If I was your man, baby, you never worry about what I do. I be coming home back to you every night, doing you right. You're the type of woman serve good bang. This for the diamonds, head the ring. Baby, you're a star. I just wanna show you you are. You should let me love you. It's so exciting. All the songs from you is one day you dancing like you dancing. Oh, it's almost like we're sexing. Oh yeah. Yeah, ooh, I like it. No, I can't deny it, but I know you can tell me so It's okay. I've been around the world, I kissed a lot of girls, so I'm guessing that's true. Maybe holler at $1 million, don't nobody kiss it like you. Don't nobody kiss it like you, don't nobody kiss it like you. Bang, bang, bang. Don't nobody kiss it like you, don't nobody kiss it like you. It's time. She's wrong. She's taking chance.
All right, that was the Terminator R&B mix, Terminator X from Public Enemy Hall of Famer. Also on the show, DJ Mad Links. We're going to hear from him coming up. Soren Baker, the ambassador of hip hop. Well, right about now, we have the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, and that's Alonzo Williams. Alonzo, we have a clip that we want to play right quick. So we're going to play this clip from Alonzo, and then we'll bring him back to the show. All right, let's play it.
Oh, for those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery. Stuck Ice Cube in the freezer when it got cold. On the eve after dark, 50-yard line to Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bull, because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that NWA stands for Not Without Alonzo.
Yes. So, yes, you're making big things. So do you run into a lot of the hip-hop artists like back in the day, like the people from the Oakland area? Are you out of Oakland, right?
I'm in LA.
You're in LA, okay.
I'm in LA.
Did you ever live in Oakland?
No, I got family in Oakland,
okay.
And I'm from LA.
Okay, from LA. Yeah. I'm thinking about Too Short. Right now, I'm thinking about Too Short. I'm not thinking about Crenshaw and everything. So you from the Crenshaw area?
I'm from the LA South Central, almost Compton area.
Okay. So who do you still collaborate with on this, with the hip hop groups, still the old school? Do you like old school or new school?
I love old school, Doc. I understand everything they saying. I understand every word. I love them. I was with Dre last week. He just came to Compton and opened up this high school. We did a ribbon cutting for Compton High School. Dre just dropped $10 million on the so we were hanging out last week. A lot of the cats, man. Battle Cat and I, we always run. I just talked to Battle Cat last week. He's in Japan right now. So it's just I run to everybody on a semi-regular basis. And okay. Who might be in a restaurant or an event. So it's all love though, everywhere.
I think Soren Baker want to ask you a question.
Yeah. Alonzo, as you talk about Eve After Dark, you made a movie, a documentary about Eve After Dark, and you got some other film stuff going on. So what are the latest developments you have on the film side?
Well, my latest documentary, NWA, Now About Alonzo, is complete. We're just wrapping up the film festival run, and we're in the process of packaging the two documentaries, Eve After Dark and NWA, to secure distribution for it globally. That's our move right now, while we are also in the process of reopening the Eve After Dark nightclub.
Wow, that sounds great. Hey, look, yeah. Alonzo, we're going to get you back on the show. In fact, let's talk about doing some things in Las Vegas, since that's our head station that we do the radio show from is in Las Vegas, KSHP. So maybe we can work on some things, because I'm working on doing this Rap City comedy reunion. We're working on doing the Hip Hop Kings of Comedy. We're trying to do a bunch of things. So thank you for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Can I want to speak one there before we let go? Zo?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, I just want to know, Zo, what did you think the very first time you heard Michelle Lay speak?
Yeah, I was scared to death. I was like, what? Child in this woman's body. This ain't making no sense. It was. She came to the house, and it was a Sunday. I never forget how long I lived. It was a Sunday afternoon. I just got off the plane. My girl told me to come on by. She was waiting on me. Everything was warmed up and waiting on me. I'm trying to leave. As I was leaving, my boy came up with this young lady. She was smaller, and I'm like, man, I got to go. He man, please. Took her to the studio, and she wouldn't say anything. I'm like, man, I gotta go. I'm gonna leave. I can't mess with y'all. Turned her back and sang her butt off. She turned her back, and I'm like, wow, she got a hell of a voice. I stood up from behind the board, walked around to the front. She kept singing. Then she got comfortable and turned around, and I said, okay, that's good. What's your name again? Oh, I'm like, what happened? He got his head there, man. That's the only thing. But again, I never saw her voice as being a problem commercially because I thought she would make her Smurf, voice of a Smurf or whatever. But it never happened. Again, to have somebody go from that Anita Baker to a Smurf voice was all I thought was amazing.
Wow, that's great.
That's a good word for
it. And before you go, what is your social media so everybody can get in contact with you?
Real Alonzo NWA on Instagram, Godfather on TikTok, and that's about it. And I Facebook, dog. Y'all don't do Facebook, but yeah, I do Facebook too. Alonzo Williams on Facebook.
Any last words you want to say?
Man, for those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery, stuck Ice Cube in the freezer until they got cold. On the eve after dark, 50-yard line in the Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that bull because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that NWA stands for Not Without Alonzo. And we are out.
That's it. That's Alonzo Williams, of course, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. And we'd like to thank him for being on the Chris Thomas Show and for those wonderful answers. And right about now, we're going to take our station ID and we'll be right back to the Chris Thomas Show.
You're listening to the Chris Thomas Show with Lalo Lopez, DJ Mad Links, Terminator X, and Soreen Baker on KSHP Radio, 107.1 FM and 1400 AM.
Also, the Chris Thomas Show is being brought to you by 100% sucker-free brands. That's hot sauce, coffees, and don't forget about the Ebony Inn Barbecue. That's 5367 Sheriff Road. That's in Fairmount Heights, Maryland. Vegas, all the way from Maryland, they're advertising in Vegas. So when you come to the DMV, you'll stop by and have some of that hot sauce, 100% sugar-free, and some barbecue at the Ebony Inn that's been there for 60 years. Now, guys, the topic of the day, I think Terminator has it. Terminator, you have the what happened, right?
Yes, sir. So I recently saw on Instagram this young couple. Well, I don't know how old they are, but younger than us anyway.
Right.
So the husband surprised the wife buying a starter home, and I'll let the clip speak for itself. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Go ahead.
Where are we? Where are we? Who house?
It's our house, babe. I just bought it.
This house?
Yeah, this house, babe. What's wrong?
This not the house we agreed on. Why would you do that?
This is what I could afford, babe. I bought this because it's what I could afford.
You care about me being happy or you being happy? Because I'm not happy with this. This is not what you were supposed to have bought.
I care about both of us being happy. And you're not making no payments or leave.
I don't care about that. I'm not going to want to stay here. I'd rather stay where we are now.
Where we are now.
I mean, a house is a house to me. As long.
No, to be honest.
What's wrong with this house?
It's small. Look at that little window. Like, it's small. Like, I don't even want to be here. And then you're talking about some that you can afford it. Like, you can afford better than this.
You don't spend all your money on the house, babe. You got to keep something in the bank.
Okay, and we have enough in the bank to get something better than this. This is not what I expected to how I wanted to live my life. Certain enough for my kids.
You gonna help me pay the bills, though?
No.
Okay, so then what? Let's go see the house. Let's go at least look in the house.
Come on,
man.
who car?
This is an agent car. Golly. Not something wrong with his car.
Yes. Look at the neighborhood. Nobody don't even break up the leaves. Come on, open the door.
You tripping, bro. You tripping. Man, come here.
Well, I can see.
What is this, a closet? Is this a closet?
All this space and you call it a closet. We got 3 bedrooms in here.
How is supposed to fit our sectional in here?
Right here, somewhere.
This is crazy. And you done got Wi-Fi.
Take your shoes off, babe. I just got done cleaning.
Like, now you being disrespectful. Like, I'm not really feeling this.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow, what's wrong with come on. The basket back here, babe. What's wrong with this?
This is a hot mess.
What's wrong with it?
The walls is done. Like, you're gonna have to do a whole lot of renovating. I don't want these little country apartment doors in here. This the master?
This the master bedroom, babe.
All right. So I can just say this, that fellas, I don't know. I buy a house for a lady. I already see that marriage ain't gonna work. Now I don't know if it's a skit or not, but I can see that it's not gonna work. If she's not happy, she wants him to buy a house they looked at. So I'm sure that may have been maybe $800,000. So what do y'all think? Links?
Big homie, let me tell you right now. Alex, I'll take foolishness that only black people do for 800. Either scenario, there's only 2. It's either it's a skit or it's for real. Right. Either way, foolishness only black people do. Like, who is actually going to sit there and film if this is real? If this is real, go through the embarrassment and all that of this, and this is currently still your woman, and you're going to post that? Like, the act of having to, really post that in real time. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I don't see white people. I definitely don't see Asian people. I don't see Latinos. I don't see anybody but us with this foolishness to get it for clicks. But let's, for a quick second, think that it's real, right? I don't know what has happened, and like I said, it's time for another unpopular opinion with DJ Mad Links. I don't know what's happened to our sisters. I don't know who has led them astray, who's hoodwinked them, who's bamboozled them into this whole mentality about their entitlement, and they should be, they should have the world. And the brother I said, well, you'll help me pay for it? No. Like, come on, man. We live in 2025, man. These bills are 2025 bills. These are not 1925 bills. So the cost of a house exponentially has 10x'd within a very short period of time versus the ability to earn an income, which has not 10x'd. So if this is a skit, foolishness that black people do. If it's for real, foolishness only black people do.
Exactly. What about you, Soren?
I really can only imagine that this is a skit. And to Mad Links' point, why skit or real? Why would you do this? Because it makes both of them look like suckers and losers. The dude up there simping and doing this, like he's providing for his woman, who's then totally disrespecting him, which I think is ridiculous. And then the woman, like, if you can't be happy and grateful for what you have and your man providing for you, then that's a problem. It's just problems all the way around, however you look at it. All bad. All bad.
Well, don't forget, she's the one that has the hot pocket, or is it the chicken pot pie? Is one of those. What about you, Terminator X?
With the taco. Is my mic clear? Can you? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So I suspect it's a skit, But the reason it really touched a nerve with me because it's very real.
It is
very real, and it's just sad. And like Lynx was saying, I don't know what happened to the ladies.
Well, we can't blame everybody. We can't say it's every female.
No. Everybody doesn't fall into the same mood. But
right, exactly.
It's definitely real.
Well, on that number, maybe we need to take a little break, and we're going to come back with what Soren was talking about earlier. So now let's check out my main man. This is DJ Mad Lynx R&B mix of the day. All right, let's check it out.
We're going old school today, big homie.
I never said that I would be yours. Yeah. But you know that I love you, baby. And it's gonna be such a shame when you start living. So amazing. DJ. Happened so naturally, didn't I know it was wrong? The next thing I just holding you close. What was I gonna do? I let myself go. Now it's life to start, but this night will last forever. It's been so long. Just what I will do when I heard your song. Till my heart gave me freedom. If I could live it, I needed someone. Now if I am too far, hope I'd last forever. Jake. Inside. Which we touch is just
All right, that was DJ Mad Links. And of course, you know him from Rap City in the Basement here on the Chris Thomas Show, sponsored by 100% Sucker Free and the Ebony Inn Barbecue. So we're back. Soren, there was something you wanted to talk about today.
Well, like Mad Links just played, shout out to Shaka Khan. Ain't nobody but one team going to win these championships. So let's get into this, man. We got the NBA is about to be in the finals, but we got the OTA started in the NFL. So I wanted everybody to go through their team and talk about what they're excited about the offseason or what they're nervous about. Mad Links, what you got in the NFL world?
I'm a Giants fan, so I'm nervous about everything.
As you should be.
Like, we ain't looking good in the front office. We ain't looking good on the field. I mean, the coach, you know, Brian Daboll, like he was off to a promising start. Loved what he was doing there in Buffalo. Has not transferred over to the New York State or the Garden State where they actually play at all. So I'm still concerned. I don't know what's happening with us at QB. I hated losing Saquon, but salute to him, and I'm happy for him that he won a ring because the man so deserves it. So yeah, I'm just, as long as we beat the damn Cowboys, I'm good.
Well, that's usually not a problem. What about you, Terminator? What you looking forward to for the NFL season?
Come on, guys. You know I don't follow the sports like that. I really don't have a team right now. I used to, back in the day, the Raiders used to be my team. That's when it was Oakland.
Yeah.
Speaking of football, you guys remember the old electric vibrating football game?
Oh yeah.
Man,
like
yeah. We were really into that as kids. We used to paint the men, you know, match the team colors and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm telling my age right now, but yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Well, I can tell you, I'm a Commanders fan and a Ravens fan because it's all in the DMV. Yes, that's right. You got Ravens on. There we go. So, with our rookie quarterback of the year, I don't know, man, because one year they can look good, one year they don't. And the teams that we didn't expect in the NBA to do well are doing well. We didn't think that, we knew that OKC might make it to the playoffs, but we didn't know that they were on a real mission about winning the championship. So I think that it's football season. Let's go football. And of course, let's not forget the WNBA. Want to always give shout out to the women. And we're hoping that their season is successful. And believe me, I watch all sports. I didn't watch that much of the summer league football. I couldn't feel it, but there are a lot of people say they have a lot of good times there.
Now, Chris, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the ratings of the WNBA as Caitlin Clark is reported to be out for 2 weeks. So their biggest draw not going to be playing. So now there's Angel Reese character who they're not just watching for one person. They're watching for me too. All right, we're about to find out. We about to FAFO around and out.
As they say,
they said that the ratings have dropped. So that's like anything without your star player, and she brought a lot more viewers. And listening audience, I want to say this to you, Vegas and around the world. It's not like the WNBA did not have viewers. Caitlin Clark brought more viewers to the screen to watch the WNBA. And on that note, we got to do our message of hope, and we'll be back to wrap up the show. So this is D with our message of hope, sponsored by 100% Sugar Free and the Ebony Inn Barbecue.
Hello, this is Diamond D with Love and Happiness, where I'm giving you some love advice, some happiness advice, some everyday good advice to make your day a little more loving. William Shakespeare said, "Love all, trust a few, and do wrong to no one." Trust is one of the key ingredients to a healthy relationship, but not everyone knows how to give or receive trust. Here are some pointers on how to make your relationship more trusting. 1. Be consistent. Say what you mean and do what you say. 2. Be respectful. Value each other's opinions, dreams, careers, and thoughts. 3. Be forgiving. Let go of past pain and be willing to try again. Lastly, be focused on your partner's good qualities, seeing them for who they are and not their past wrongs and faults. When you embrace these aspects of trust with your partner, you will begin to build a foundation that contributes to a healthy relationship. This is Diamond D with Love and Happiness, where I'm working to make your day a little more loving.
Let me do a correction. I think I said message of hope. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to leave you with D. This is message of hope. I think we played Love and Happiness earlier during the day, so we don't play message of hope.
Good morning. Our scripture comes from Proverbs 16:25. There is a way which seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Devotional. Maybe today you are wondering why it is that God calls some behaviors and attitudes sin that may feel natural to you. This paradox goes back to the fall. If you remember, the Father instructed Adam and Eve not to eat from a certain tree in the Garden of Eden. We know that they eventually disobeyed and ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil despite the Lord's commandment and warning. What later happened was that Adam and Eve received a great deal of information that they were very unequipped and unprepared to handle without God's guidance. Good and evil were put on equal levels. Yes, there were certain actions that they knew to be immoral from the beginning, such as murder and stealing, but because their sin caused them to die spiritually, they lost the capacity to discern right from wrong as they would have learned if they had allowed the Lord to teach them. This is why we sometimes do not realize that the ways we are filling our needs are actually causing us to feel emptier and more destitute. It takes a relationship with Jesus to truly understand how to have those needs met. That is, what is God's will for us and what is not God's will for us comes from the knowledge of the Holy Spirit and Jesus. Our power thought is, Jesus, please teach me to walk in your wisdom and freedom. Have a blessed day.
All right. That was message of hope. And when we had that little glitch with Love and Happiness and message of hope, AI took over. And that's why we don't know how important AI is and not. So that's what happened. So now we want to talk about some other stuff. The Chrisleys were pardoned by Donald Trump. That's a show that I watch. It's a funny show. They have an interracial granddaughter. And the mom is funny. Anybody watch that show, The Chrisleys?
Honestly, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah,
you never heard of it,
Chris? I'm not up on that.
You never. Well, this is something I got an edge on y'all now. So every time y'all talk, y'all always. Well, I'm glad that they've been pardoned. I really am. I think they're good. Okay, let's move right along to Cassie. Cassie she just had a third child, and lucky she just got out of the courtroom. Did y'all hear about that?
Salute. Yeah, congrats to Cassie on the birth of her baby boy. It's her first boy. And I mean, I think this child was brought into the world under a whole lot of stress. And I'm still trying to figure out two things. Number one, how's that relationship at home after her husband hearing all the things that he heard in that courtroom? I don't know if he heard some of them for the very first time or not. But an interesting time for that young baby boy to be brought into the world.
And how don't we know it's not Diddy's baby?
Wait. you start waiting for that hair to start doing what it's gonna do after about 6 months.
Well,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I hope not, man. I hope not.
Hey, but Chris, here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not even is it just Diddy's baby. You see the laundry list of people who he had doing certain things with Cassie. So like honestly, who knows whose the baby might be? It might be the Punisher. It might be Jonathan Adi. I mean, it's a whole list of babies who that might be. You just have to roll the dice and pray.
Well, I'm sure that anybody who have ever seen Cassie or any lady, women have a magnet effect on us men, and they draw you in. And if you know how to handle that being drawn in, and they understand that they really love you, first of all, anything, you have to make her fall in love with you. It's not all the time. She might like you from a distance. She might think you cute. She might think you're handsome. She might think you have all of this. But for all our female listeners, they'll tell you first, you have to show up and show her, even though she might like you. Don't you think that's so?
Well, but now, Chris, you're talking about a real relationship, though. See, that's not.
Yeah, but they all can become relationships. I mean, if you talking about you getting a young lady on the street that's selling her body, or you going to a strip club, or you going to a massage parlor, ladies can get attached by different emotions and feelings and stuff like that. She might want to get money from you, but when you lay down, that's a whole nother different type of effect that you might have on her. Same thing with you. You've been around with buddies who may have dated the same female, but one of them fell in love with her, even though he knew everything about her in that neighborhood. Am I correct?
By today's standards, I say no, you're not correct, because I don't think you look at enough Instagram. If you see these savages out here with these posts, nah, bro.
Well,
nah, bro.
I live here in the DMV, so from Baltimore to Washington to Delaware to Philly. I mean, I'm just going by when I grew up and how it was. But I'm not going to knock anyone, because guess what? Everybody's a little ruthless, and everybody going to do what they want to do anyway. What about you, Terminator? You're being very quiet.
Well, what you said that does happen. What's that expression? The heart wants what it wants.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it happens.
But what if you ain't got no heart no more?
and that's because of the women like the one in that clip I played, been more getting more like that.
That heart is dead.
G's up, H is down.
Well, obviously, she's running the show because he's really into her and she's not into him. That's the way it sounds on the clip. Go ahead.
And I tell you what, she's talking about my kids, and you're not living it. I'm not living there. You're not living it. My kids. I also figure that that's not even his kids.
It may not be, but guess what, fellas? It's that time again. I want everybody, all our listening audience all over the world, to understand that pretty soon we'll be coming on a tour. But before then, I want everybody to know that these guys, Soren, DJ Mad Links, Terminator, and we're going to give a shout out to Layla once again, and of course, Janae. So give me your social media, fellas. So if you want to hire these guys, you hear the music on the Chris Thomas Show on KSHP. So you tell me what you think. Starting with you, Mad Links.
Simply at DJ MADLINX on all social media.
Soren.
Yeah, you can follow me at Soren Baker, SORENBAKER, and check me out on YouTube at Unique Access Entertainment, UNIQUEACCESSENT. And I got DJ Terminator X, DJ Madlinks, and Chris Thomas all being interviewed on Unique Access Entertainment. So check that out, among many, many others.
All right, Terminator.
You can follow me on social media at DJ Terminator X and at my website, djterminatorx.com. Also, in the future, look out for me on Twitch. For those of y'all that follow DJs, download the Twitch application. I will soon be on Twitch. Same thing, DJ Terminator X.
All right. And remember, we're here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the Chris Thomas Show. And want to thank the Hall of Famers. That's a Fly Cry and also Uncle James, LeBron James' father. Remember, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. Till next Wednesday, we're out of.
Bright lights, big city. Good morning, Vegas. It's the Chris Thomas Morning Show. Fly Cry, Uncle James, all of fame.
He's the paid, the original host. Chris Thomas, the mayor in Vegas. The latest all of the Vegas. We on the radio, you say it's us. We got Terminator X on the cut. In the public, the enemy gets off in the cut. Run a pack of mad mixed with the Cuban guys. This music gonna make you do the bus. We're so on for show. We're here to introduce you to the morning show.
Chris is chillin', Terminator's chillin'. Hall of Famers rapping people, what you think? Layla is chillin', Soren is chillin'. Quick word for Billy, and we got mad links. James Gang reppin', Big Wig reppin', Akron, Cleveland, LA to Vegas. Fly Cry, LeBron James around. I'm a role model, I see the brain in the gap.